What I want you to do, pay close attention to the wording of this Bible prophecy. Pay close attention because the wording itself, even though if we read through it, that we hear it spoke, and we don't pay close attention to the wording, we'll miss the interpretation of God's intent when He speaks to us because it resonates throughout history. It has something to do with what's happening to us right now. If we just read through it and just read it as another book, then we'll miss the prophecy of what God is trying to tell us. But you will all have to be careful and listen at the wording. Let's go to Genesis chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse 26. Excuse me. I'm going to stop there. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. Concerning Adam and Eve. And God said, let us make man in our image. In our image. He didn't say genetic color or nothing like that. He said in our image, shape and form. Is what this applied to. After our likeness, and let them have dominion over the flesh of the sea, and over the fowls of the air, and over the cows, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. He said, let us make man in our image and in our likeness. What this does, it gives us the features of God in the heavenly host, what they was consist of. And the reason I'm saying this so many times, they give you a definition, or they create images showing you the Bible, but they twist it around and make the truth a lie. He said, in our image, man in our image. And listen to this. So God created, verse 27, so God created man in his own image. Verse 27, created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowls of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Excuse me if I got to review a little bit there, but verse 29, Genesis chapter 1. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. Meat means food. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. And God saw, the verse 30 verse, and God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Genesis chapter 2. I want to go over this over and over again because it has something to do with where we are today in Bible prophecy. When we see these wars, when we see the things spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy places and show you where this had to be a requirement, where these things had taken place. Chapter 2, verse 1, Genesis. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And on the seventh day God ended his work which he had made, And he rested on the seventh day from all of his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. This was the book of life. Now, he made one man, the woman was in man. So once he made man is in his image, this was the image of man. But when he took Eve from man, she stood like man, looked like man, but she was different in character and characteristics than the man, but she still came from the body of the man, which the spirit of Adam was divided. And what this tells us, that there was one flesh, one genetic color code, one origin, and one species of the human race. You always have to listen at the message. I'm going to 15, Genesis 2:15. I got it marked here. And the Lord took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest eat freely, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. Tree of knowledge. Listen to that. Knowledge of good and evil. He's telling us something there. Without the knowledge, eat means to explore. Consume it in your mind. Consume it in your body. You shouldn't even touch knowledge, because it'll lead to one thing to another, and the mind will continue to grow and want to create and produce other things. And what this does, it create when you become addicted to what you created from that tree of knowledge, which is the universe and all that thing, you're going to want to enhance it for the better your condition, better who you are. Instead of you enhancing, you'll slowly destroy the world, because you have created a life substance out of the beings that God placed here upon the earth. And doing so, it will destroy your habitat and the environment around you. It will pollute the sanctuary of all living flesh. Nothing would have sacred grounds anymore upon the face of the earth, when the peoples and the nations could be continued to do this here and tear down the foundation of this earth, which God created with his own hand for the beauty and the glorification of himself, made it perfect, without sin, without fault, without disease, and anything called violence. Well, I want to stop right there for a moment. Let me take it a little bit further here. And verse 17, chapter 4. And unto Adam, chapter 3. Now I'm going to go to chapter 4. This is where Cain slew Abel. And I don't have to read this. This is where the first sin became to man. And after Cain slew Abel, his brother, after they was in the field, and God called him, and the Lord said unto him, therefore whosoever, okay, verse 14, I'm seeking I get this in here. I know I can. But verse 14, I say in Genesis chapter 4, Cain, because God had cursed Cain for slewing his brother Abel, he vowed not to serve God anymore. He said from him in verse 14, he would turn his face from God, so God drove him out from his